In our day, Oregon Trail generation, remember the computer labs with all you'd go and you're sitting next to your peer and you're talking about, oh no, and you could hear the excitement. And now it's just like there's no one in the room with them. They're just by themselves talking to a chatbot, which is so dangerous because kids need that ability to look someone in the eye, not only just to know how to be around people, but just for their own self journey.
We already know what helps. Connection is the cure. It's our deep, meaningful relationships that give us hope and healing. Welcome to This Helps. I'm Marlon Morgan, licensed professional clinical counselor and founder and CEO of the national nonprofit Wellness Together. Join us as we practice authentic and vulnerable conversations that inspire us to go deeper with the people in our own lives. Edda Collins Coleman, I met her at a Common Sense event and really was hoping that our listeners could hear from her because she had a lot of great stuff to say.
I had so much fun talking with her. Before we get into that, though, listeners know we've started helping at the top of the episode.
That's right. Shout out to my mom.
That's right. That's right.
Insisting that I do something helpful, quote, in case she doesn't care about the guest.
That's right. This is Marlon's mom helps Marlon help corner of the show.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, what's one immediate way parents or caregivers can start modeling media awareness for their kids?
Well, they're always watching. Mm-hmm. So just remember that. Mm-hmm. You can't really do anything like that. They may not understand it in the same way that you do or you think you do, but they're watching. They're watching what you do, not necessarily what you say. Classic old adage, but it is true, especially when it comes to media consumption, because that's something we do as adults a lot when we're sort of half in our conscious mind and half unconsciously doing it. And they're seeing our reactions. They're hearing what we say when we see something on the screen. Something that's helpful, I think, in our house that I don't always like doing because sometimes you just want to watch something and mindlessly check out and enjoy it. But if you're watching with the whole family and something comes up that's like jarring or weird or not something they're used to seeing, definitely pause it and talk about it.
Oh, you don't just awkwardly look away and hope that it never comes up again?
No, I think...
interesting. Okay.
No, I think having a house where you can talk about anything and don't be scared of your kids and what they're going to think and be about making it awkward. They're just going to love you. You can't even love someone unless you know them. And this is a great way for them to get to know you.
Wow. I loved that. That was so nice.
Well, they might be annoyed too. Yeah. It's not always like a welcome pause, when we're watching stuff as a family. But sometimes you just got to be like, hey, this is weird. This is making me uncomfortable. How's it making you feel? Like, should we skip it? Especially like movies from the 80s.
A PG movie from the 80s? Yeah. Nuts.
It's like pretty... Yeah. Graphic. I think PG stood for pretty graphic in the 80s and 90s. So yeah, just talk about it. Just be a person with your human family. And, you have to have a little courage sometimes. It might not go perfectly. But, if they see that you have the courage to talk about something, then oftentimes they're going to have that when it comes to what they're doing stuff with their friends. Right. And not just like awkwardly have a moment and hope it goes unnoticed. Mm-hmm. I think it's one of the ways you can get more out of life. You can get more out of your relationships. And it doesn't have to be preachy. Just talk about how you're feeling.
That's great.
So when I talk to our older and our 12-year-old or our 4-year-old about video games or anything that I don't necessarily think is like really helpful, I'll validate it. I'll say like, I know you love this. Like, I get it. Like this is awesome. Mm-hmm. Like what we're able to do and the other worlds we can see in video games. But there's a few reasons why I don't want you to play video games where you randomly get paired up with just some
creepo.
Yeah. I was going to go creepo, but yeah, just I like grosso lately.
Yeah, grosso is good.
Yeah, just some grosso on the internet and like, here's what they may have in mind, something totally different than what you have in mind. And the reason we have some of these rules is simply because I love you. And sometimes I do get scared and maybe I'll overdo it, but I'd rather overdo it than underdo it and then have you come to me and say, I saw something I can never unsee.
Right.
You know, there's just, you have to have these conversations. Like the information in the world that they're exposed to, especially as they get older towards middle school, and like what they might see on a friend's phone, like you have to be able to talk about that stuff. If you can't, they're not going to have anyone to talk about. They'll probably end up talking to AI, which is, I don't know, the saddest thing I can think of.
Yeah.
So be a person and be approachable. Don't freak out if they say something scary. I understand. Like, even if it's something that upsets you, don't freak out and be a safe person. You can go call a friend or your partner later, like another adult, and absolutely freak out. That's a good move. Or if you have like a grandparent or something that can play it cool for you.
Lived through the depression.
Yeah.
Nothing shakes them. Yeah.
There's e-bikes everywhere here, and no shade on parents that allow their 9-year-olds to ride 30-mile-an-hour motorcycles around a busy suburban area, but no judgment. However, I have to explain to my son that that's not in his future anytime soon.
Right.
And it's because I love him. And maybe it is because I'm scared. Like, admit that.
Right.
I'm scared because I love him.
Right.
And it's my job to decide risk benefit. Like, can he do some things on his own and have a little bit of independence? Yeah. Does he need to be going 30 miles an hour
While he does it?
with other cars and other drivers who are probably high or drunk or both?
Okay.
No. This is just, the whole show is this now.
I don't know that they're probably high or drunk or both, but I
They're
do
both.
Understand.
Every
I was
day,
going to say,
all of them.
We got into plenty of trouble when I was a kid and we only had regular bikes. So,
Yeah, he has a regular bike
and
he can ride it and understand it. Do you remember on a regular bike and going down like a hill, a steep hill?
Yeah, Broadmoor Hill.
Yeah, well,
that
of
was
course.
The one.
Yeah, everybody knows. The Broadmoor Hill is a great name for that hill in your childhood. I feel like that hill, I'm picturing it in my mind. It's like a Grand Canyon wall.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's with a street on it.
Yeah. Correct.
Cartoonishly 90-degree angle.
That is what it feels like in my memory. I'm going to take a drive by there sometime and see how much of a hill that hill.
Let's get a picture.
Yeah.
Let's get a picture and put it up in the notes. I think, but remember how scary it was? Like in the middle, you were like, why am I going this fast? This is nuts. I guarantee you we weren't even going 20 miles an hour.
No way. That was the question. What do we do about e-bikes?
Huge problem these days. E-bikes. It's a whole different show.
I love this episode, though.
Yeah.
I want our listeners to tell us what their favorite family night movies are. That was something that we talked about a lot in this episode.
That's good. Or about the hill in their town that they went down on a regular bike.
Yeah, let us know. You can head over to thishelpspodcast.com/ask, ASK, and leave us a little video. Recommend some family night movies, and we can share them on the pod and with our other listeners. And wouldn't that be fun?
I want to know your family night movie, and then I want to know like kind of like a stretch that you would have to stop partway through and like explain things so that it's not weird after.
I love that. That's great. That's really good.
Do it.
Here we go.
Edda Collins Coleman is a communications and advocacy leader at Common Sense Media and a local school board member in California. Her work sits at the intersection of education, media, technology, parenting, digital literacy, and child well-being.
And she's the coolest.
Yeah. Funny, smart, accomplished. Yeah. Unpretentious, but like also like, you're talking to somebody,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I loved it. I think people are going to love it.
I think so too.
Edda Collins Coleman, welcome to This Helps.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
We're both in California right now. Is that right?
That's right. I'm in Orinda, a small little hamlet in the East Bay.
Oh, man. I haven't heard that in a while. That's like, I felt like you were saying you lived at a Ren fair or something when you said Hamlet.
Shakespearean vibes there.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell us about Orinda.
Orinda is about 20,000 people. Let's see, 4 elementary schools, 1 middle school, 1 high school. Everyone knows you, 1 main thoroughfare. But it's great. I love it. And that's one of the reasons we moved here is for the schools. We have 3 daughters. And the schools are amazing. I'm biased. I'm also on the school board. So,
Yeah.
I can say that.
Did you serve as the president for a while?
I was last year.
Yeah.
Everyone serves as a 1-year term as a president on the school board. And so I was vice president for 1 year, and then I was president last year. And so now I'm just regular board trustee.
All 3 girls, are they school aged, or what are the age ranges?
16, 13, and 7.
Wow. Okay.
Ask me anything about girlhood. I'm there.
Well, yeah, I would have a lot of questions. Fortunately, I've never had to switch tracks. I've always just, had boys, but, I'm a little jealous because I do kind of wish we had one more and could experience that. But, so what made you feel like, because I think being on a school board right now and in 2026 is more than it has been in a long time. And you do a lot of work for one of the largest advocacy organizations for kids, Common Sense Media. And, what is it like to be on that school board and hear everyone's opinions, the informed opinions, the not so informed opinions?
It's great.
You have to say that though, right?
No, it is. And it really is amazing. I'm a people person. I'm an extrovert. So 1, it gives me the opportunity to really get to know the community, everyone here, which I absolutely love. To my children's dismay, they're like, Mom. But I love getting to know my neighbors and neighbors who become friends and just our community members. So, and allows me also the opportunity to just make an impact, for the families here, for the students here, that really and just makes Orinda a destination district for families. And that's what I love the most.
There's purpose in it. There was, and you saw an opportunity to sort of contribute by serving as a school board member.
That's right.
What are the other expertises on the school board? I mean, this is not why we're here to talk about this, but I'm wondering how yours, and of course we can talk well about everyone because you have to go and hang out with all of them and I don't. But what are the different backgrounds that you see, coming into the school board meeting and trying to help you guide what students are doing and learning?
Oh my gosh. First of all, you have to be fiscally, you have to understand the budget, right? And be fiscally responsible. One of my colleagues is an attorney. Another was an educator. Another was in healthcare, right? And one of the board members is an engineer. So really, and all women, all have 3+ children, right? And so we really come from different walks of life, different careers, but it all helps in terms of where, how we can purposefully and positively impact the lives of the families in the schools here and our educators. And really, it comes together so beautifully. And we're all
pretty
friends.
well-rounded, I feel like, compared to a lot of districts. How have you seen your current work at Common Sense Media intersect with your, position on the school board?
Oh my goodness, so many ways. So we have the local, the LCAP, local control, LCAP. Okay, yeah, and this is where I can't remember, but
I always think LCFF, local control funding formula, LCAP.
It's that, but that's the control plan. The accountability plan that each school has. And each principal puts together, and the principals are a leadership team, right? And they create this plan in tandem within Orinda, and they present it. So we often see digital literacy and well-being. presented in these plans, which means that's where Common Sense Media comes in, right?
Right.
And it is amazing to see that. And there's like a sense of pride, right? When they're presenting these plans to the school board and you see that Common Sense Media is ingrained in the curriculum. And it's ingrained in all that's happening. So the children here and the students here can understand digital literacy and understand well-being and be AI literate and all of those things that encompass the curriculum that we're offered to school districts.
That's great. So you get to actually see what you're developing in like how it's being used in the wild, I'll say.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that is encouraging and cool. Well, what about as a parent? Like, what do you use from the resources that you develop and work on and communicate out to the world?
Everything. So our oldest is 16. And so she started, I think her first movie was maybe 3 or 4. And immediately I did my research. I've always been involved in some form or fashion around just helping children. I was on the Virginia Foundation for Healthy Youth back in the day when we lived in Virginia, which is a gubernatorial appointment. And so that's where, and that was way before I even had kids, right? That I was appointed.
So you already knew
board.
This was important. Yeah.
Right. And so I've always known about Common Sense Media pre-children. And then when it was time for her to see her first movie, I turned to Common Sense Media to make sure the movie was accurate and for her age, age and stage.
Yeah, appropriate for something that she would want to, you'd want her seeing.
Exactly. And it was wonderful. And I turned to it ever since. We have family movie nights on Fridays, and I still use it because I have 16, 13, 7-year-olds. So I want to make sure the movie that we watch is appropriate for the 16-year-old as it is for the 7-year-old as it is for the 13-year-old.
That's hard to do.
Which is kind of challenging, right?
Yeah.
It's challenging to find something that fits all 3 of those age groups. But it's possible.
Well, and I was going to get into that because I want examples. What do you remember that first movie that you looked up on Common Sense Media? And to be clear, we've done that. I used to do that for my little brother because we're 13 years apart. So that's when I first found it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then now for my kids, obviously, we go on there together. Like my son will say, he doesn't like scary movies. He's like, we're kind of lucky right now. He's 12 and he's like, I don't want anything scary or gross. Maybe he doesn't want to watch anything gross with me. But so before we go to a movie, he'll be like, let's check Common Sense Media. So we're doing
that.
It's
That's
it's cool.
Great.
And
yeah.
Totally. And it works for like if he feels like he doesn't fit in like at school because he doesn't watch a movie that he doesn't like. Like I think like one of them was like Five Nights at Freddy's or something. He was like, I don't want to watch that. Like scary and gross. And so he did want to know about it. So like CSM, you can go on and actually get like, okay, what are the basics?
Synopsis.
Yeah.
I do that with sports.
Yeah, that's good.
So
relatable.
You can talk about it. We're in NBA playoffs right now, so the Knicks won, and, all the things. That's what I do.
How about them Knicks? Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm gonna do that. Do you remember that first movie for your daughter?
I don't remember that first movie. I want to say, I don't know. Frozen comes to mind just because it's one that we've seen over the course since it came out thousands of times.
Okay.
With all 3.
Well, I didn't want to stereotype, but I would say, between Frozen and maybe was Brave the other one?
Brave. I love Brave.
Like,
the mother-daughter relationship, I've seen that thousands of times as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what they're into, or at least at one point. What movies now are you doing on family nights? Like, can you think of any that are been? People want to know this.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. So we ventured into those 80s movies that,
Heck yeah.
around the time frame, and it's kind of, that's an iffy, tricky time.
The 80s, I feel like it could be PG-13, and then you start to watch it, and it's like, what the hell? Did anyone even screen this, or did they just
No,
like
seriously? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, what were we
F
watching?
words? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't one F word in an 80s movie. If it's PG-13, it's
No.
like
Just a lot
anything.
of things. A lot of things went like this.
Yeah.
Just like flew under the radar. So, what was one was don't tell no not, when oh my gosh, we shrunk the kids.
Honey,
or
You Shrunk the
was-
Kids?
that
Rick
one.
Moranis?
That one.
Yeah.
And then of course they're like, what is this?
yeah.
Animatronics? They're like,
yeah.
what's happening here? They're
Yeah,
like,
they don't
"What
like
is
the
this?"
effects.
I'm like, you have
Yeah.
to understand where we were at the time in technology, and you try to explain it to them. They're just like, okay.
But do they see the like, even though it's real cheesy and the effects aren't good, are they interested in it?
They are. We actually watched the entire movie. Yeah.
They have to
But
make fun of it a little bit, but
You do. It's fun. It's fun. You do. You have to make fun of it. We watched 1 and 2, right?
Oh,
Although
yeah.
2 isn't as great as 1.
you
It's
know
not.
what? I remember that as a
Yeah.
kid growing up. I was like, this seems like. Even then, I was like, I didn't know what a money grab was, but I was like, I think this is it somehow.
I
Yeah.
think so. And then we watched Gremlins,
Oh,
which
great.
they were like, this is not even scary. In fact, it's hilarious. They actually laughed the entire time. They're like, what is this? Again, the animatronic, just the effects. It was just, it's different time.
Yeah, that's just very like
The 1900s, as they like to say.
Yes, yeah.
Brutal.
Those movies are definitely. You're like seeing little like like fishing wire and stuff, and like when they're hanging from the fan and Gremlins. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know Spielberg. Yeah.
No, it was great, but it just allowed our husband and Bernard and I were like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We see it now. We see, it's the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, those are some classics. Andrea, you have anything on those? Andrea has a whole nother podcast just about movies and shows, and so I want to get her opinion on this.
Well, Eddie, you almost said don't tell mom the babysitter's dead, and that's all I've been thinking about now. That was a
That one
absolute favorite of mine.
Yes, I love Rose.
Right on
Getting
top
that
of that
Rose,
Rose.
like on top of that Rose. Like, that was the best. We haven't watched that one, but after I was saying in the pre-show that my 6-year-old or 16-year-old has had 2 AP exams this week. She has her last one today. She had one last week. She has finals coming up. So after school ends, we're going to get back into our like movie realm. And that's a 16-year-old movie. It's not for the 13-year-old or the 7-year-old. It's not for them.
No, but
We'll watch
classic.
it. Yeah, it is good.
Okay, before we move on,
Oh, we're
for
not
all
just going
of
to do
us-
this for an hour.
I do want to, so I'm going to try to give us, one more chance. Was there a show or a movie in the 80s or 90s that you feel like was supposed to be maybe a comedy or like lovable, or maybe a little scary, but it was terrifying to you? Like, what was the first thing that you watched that you're like, oh, maybe I don't like this. Like, maybe I shouldn't be watching
Oh
this.
my gosh. I love classic movies like in the 40s and 50s. So, but I will say My Girl, that is just
Heavy.
heartbreaking,
Heavy.
right?
I think that's one of mine. I didn't even think about
My
that,
Girl,
but I was
that
like,
was so like, even watching it now, you're like, oh my gosh.
no.
He can't see
He
without his
can't,
glasses.
I know.
He can't.
Ugh.
But right now you have to go watch it again.
I have to remember not to watch it again because
Well, that too,
unless I really want to have a lot of feelings, which I'm generally trying to avoid. But
Isn't that your
I mean, that's a
Wait.
fair question. That's a fair question.
so?
My strength is knowing what like self-awareness, and what I'm telling you is I do know the facts and about a lot of psychology, but then again I also, like everyone else, love to distract myself and not overwhelm myself with anxiety and feelings. But that's a good point, and I should do it more. With My Girl, I also was deathly afraid of bees after that, but
I still am.
yeah.
I was stung by a bee at a soccer game for my brother. I'm the oldest of 3, in the stomach.
Oh,
I will never forget the pain. And still, I will run from a bee.
I've never been stung, and I know that means I'm deathly allergic. So I'm putting that on Mike
Oh,
here.
no.
So
you need to bring an EpiPen with you.
Just in case. I made it
Yeah.
40 years without ever being stung by a bee.
Don't do it. Yeah.
No plan.
I don't know if this, and you can take this out, Andrew, since you edit the podcast, but I mean,
I know
but you aren't outdoors a lot.
Yeah, I've never in 40 years I've never left this windowless room, so that's probably why.
That's where I see you.
Yeah.
That's the context I put you in.
So hopefully one never gets in here and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, to Andrew's point earlier, even though I would love to just continue to talk about 80s and 90s movies, Common Sense and I would say you had a big announcement about some very hopeful, developments. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. We announced our Common Sense Media Youth AI Safety Institute, which is super exciting. Big launch for us.
So someone's actually thinking about that? Is that what you're saying? So we
are
Okay.
because we want to keep it safe, right? And make sure that these companies are keeping kids and families in mind as they are creating all the algorithms, all the things. We're rigorously testing AI products against standards that we will create and send out to the masses. We'll publish our results, right? To provide the transparency. That transparency is key. That's critical, right? And accountability that we want to see, that we want to exist.
Transparency is kind of like on how the research is conducted, how you get the information. I feel like, if I remember correctly, there's even transparency on who's paying for it and what lengths you're going to make sure that that it's not influenced in that way.
That's right. We're independent. Funders get no say. I will say funders get no say in what we test, how we test, what we publish. We are independent. We maintain our independence.
Some of the funders are some of the same companies that are developing AI. What's in it for them as far as, because I would imagine they have to have some reason other than just looking better that they would want to do this.
Yeah, I believe they know how important it is, right, to keep families and kids safe. They themselves have families, right? And so if we want our world and our future workforce, right, to understand how to use the technology in a safe way, then that's where they need to be, and that's what they need to do. And so we make sure that we're working with the world's best researchers and technical partners to evaluate all the AI products, right? And we want to make sure there's consistent transparency and accountability throughout. And so then as we do that, we also have an advisory board, a very distinguished advisory board, distinguished leaders, researchers, pediatricians, computer scientists, mental health practitioners, and also folks in youth development that will help us as we put this together.
Who are some folks we might know on that advisory board? I recognized a few names, but I thought maybe you could share with us.
Yeah, Dr. Jenny Radesky, an amazing researcher, pediatrician out of the University of Michigan. Dr. Nadine Burke-Harris, California's first Surgeon General, right? She's amazing.
Yes.
We also have Dr. Vivek Murthy, who is on the Common Sense Media board, but as a liaison, and our Surgeon General, U.S. Surgeon General as well, and a few others. But with all of those three, you can't.
That's a real
wrong.
powerhouse.
Yeah.
I feel like we've I think between Dr. Burke Harris, Dr. Radesky, and Dr. Murthy, we've had the opportunity to talk with all of them.
Really? That's
at one
great.
point or another. Yeah. And Dr. Radesky, we just talked to. She's going to be on the show as well. So
That's awesome.
And about some of the research that she's been doing, testifying to Congress about, some of the concerns she has, which is not easy to do. It's very intimidating. And so she talks to us about that. And obviously, Dr. Vivek Murthy, someone who I don't think a lot of people realize this, but technically, I mean, he was a Surgeon General twice, kind of like, but he also was, and for one reason or another, maybe it's just because they couldn't get it together fast enough, or they couldn't appoint someone fast enough, but he was under Obama, Biden, and Trump for a little bit of time.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But I just find that I'll take any hope where I can get it. So that was something for me that felt hopeful. And he came and talked to us about his daughters and his and sort of towards the end of our conversation, as if you could not love a human anymore. He was looking me right in the eye, and then he had in his suit pocket 2 tiny infant socks from when his daughter was born. I cried.
Oh my gosh!
He was like,
so
I bring these with me. They were like ironed and like flat, like perfect. He's like, I bring these with me to remind me why I do this. And I was like, holy smokes, no way.
That's wonderful. That's so beautiful.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, but that we digress on this. So
it happens.
Yeah. Sorry. But I do want to know sort of what are some of the with the research, and we also had some, the Stanford Brainstorm research folks. We had Nina Vasan and Dr. Georgievich.
Oh, Dr. Daria. Yes.
Yeah. And they talked back in October to us about some of the research that had just come out that was really interesting about how kind of AI is affecting our ability to think, and maybe removing some of our agency and capability, and kind of how we avoid that. They had some great tools and tips on how to avoid that. But as far as the rest of this research, what else do you think, if you could highlight just a few things that people need to know or should know going into this?
Absolutely. I think what's most important too is for those caregivers and families and parents at home is to help the discernment of your child when they are trying to decipher what is AI, what's misinformation, and what's the actual truth, the accuracy, because they have to understand that understanding of digital literacy. It has to be baked into their DNA, if you will. They have to get it at an early stage so that they'll be able to see when they're given something, shown something by a friend, or something pops up on their device. They're like, oh, this isn't real. This is AI slop, right? Or this is misinformation, or I'm going to go check this out for myself. It is very much so hard to tell. And so the discernment is critical to bake that into all digital literacy and AI literacy. And then from there, it's up to all of us, schools, educators, parents, families, caregivers, just everyone, to make sure that they have the tools they need to help decipher. Because I know it's hard for us as adults, right, to look at like, is this video real? And then you have to go through 3 or 4 different iterations of like, you go down the rabbit hole trying to figure out if this is like factual, accurate information, or if it's just something that's out there. And so the discernment is key. We know AI is the most powerful tool, right?
Yeah.
Is of our time, the most powerful technology of our time. Yes. Is it transforming how our kids are like learning and playing and relating to the world? Yes. But there's a big but is it an all-powerful apocalyptic force that, I know we've heard that oftentimes, that's set out to ruin our childhood? No, but we got to get it right. And so you'll see and hear in our research, and you all were at our summit in March,
Yep.
Yes. That we're at a pivotal moment, right? And for this next generation, and that's in no small way due to AI. It's here to stay. And so our research shows that at least 7 in 10 teens have used generative AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 in 3 kids under 8 have used AI for learning. Right, which is a little scary because we stick to that age and stage dynamic we're always talking about, the age like almost 5. If you're age 5, no, you shouldn't have any digital devices and certainly no social media, right? But
Right.
again, it depends on what's allowed in the home. And then a lot of the teens, have used AI companion chatbots, which is our research shows are not safe,
Mm-hmm.
right? For anyone under 18. We underline that. We put it in bold font, like not safe for anyone under 18.
Yeah. What's an
But
example of one of those, just so that parents know who we're talking
yeah.
about?
So if you check out our website, you'll see the risk assessments we've completed, and the under 18 chatbots. We did this back in, I can't remember, a few months ago, and Character AI is an example, right?
Yeah.
And there are several lawsuits there. And so we know that it gives out information that's not safe, that it's telling children to do things that are not safe. It's not giving that sound and practical advice. It's not a human, right? It's not someone that can provide that emotional intelligence, and they're dangerous.
Somewhere in one of your recent reports, I think I read that it was a third of kids found talking with AI was just as satisfying as talking with a human being. Is that, and then, yeah, what do we do with that information? Is that one of the scariest?
It's one of the scariest things. It is mind-boggling to me because, in our day, Oregon Trail generation, right?
Yeah. Shout out Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail
avoid that
generation.
dysentery. Yeah. trying to get that ox to get going.
Seriously. But like, you're sitting in computer lab. Remember the computer labs with all like you'd go and you're sitting next to your peer and you're talking about, oh no, and you could hear the excitement, and now it's just like there's no one in the room with them. They're just by themselves talking to a chatbot, which is so dangerous because kids need that. They need that social interaction. They need that ability to look someone in the eye, not only just to know how to be around people, but just for their own self, journey, and getting to know people, and so
and development, right?
and
Like
development,
the developmental stages are based on actual friction and resilience, and having to strengthen those parts of yourself when someone says something you don't like, or that's not totally sycophantic and trying to get you to use their platform.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's true. And so that's the, I know play dates and hangouts or whatever the kids are calling it now. It depends on the age, of course.
Right.
But no, it really does.
Play dates, regular dates. I think they get to that point too.
Yeah. But,
hopefully.
Yeah. And so just you want to make sure you prepare them. But I think going back to the discernment piece, that's where it's important for families to give their children that discernment, to bake it in, because you want the kid to automatically choose the right thing, right? To understand and know. It needs to be baked into how they view devices, how they view technology with discernment. And so I think that's important.
What about for parents of younger kids who it's not their world either, and they don't, and so as far as like passing on discernment, how do they get it?
They get it through age and stage, right? I say that we have lots of resources on our website about age and stage. Like we did the Common Sense Census last year, around the first part of the year, and we have more coming up. We're always churning out research, but where we talk about, I think it was like 1 in 4 like under a certain age, like 2-year-olds had access to a device, and you kind of see it. You go out to a restaurant and a kid is on a massive iPad or, a phone and with headphones on, not involved, engaged in the conversation going around them. And, no judgment. My mother was a state librarian, so we grew up in libraries. We grew up with books. She still sends thousands. We have thousands of books. She still sends books to the girls. And so wherever we went with her, if it was for church, if it was for a meeting she had, if we're at a restaurant, if we're in the car on the highway, we had a book.
Yeah.
So, books are critical. And there was that article where it talked about the cognitive decline of this generation, and it's not the same as ours, right?
Right.
And I think there's something that comes to that when, and it is, and I've been there, with our 7-year-old, she was like 15 months during COVID, the pandemic. So
that's a good point. We had to resort to that.
Yeah. I mean, you were homeschooling your kids. You were on work. I mean, you had 5 million Wi-Fi's going, and just trying to make it. So, but we can now kind of stop that, and with our age and stage guidance, we can say that like age 10, limit the device use with supervision. Age 15, personal devices are okay. Like our daughter is 16, she's driving, right? She has a phone. She also doesn't have all the social that a lot of kids do have. She's made 4 presentations with Common Sense Media Research, right? To ask for LinkedIn and Pinterest and Instagram. I know the LinkedIn always gets people.
Is she using your work
like,
against you? I don't understand. So like,
she did. And, my sister is my sister's in law school and helped her.
Oh my. You that auntie
I
needs
was like,
to
really?
take it back a notch. Yeah.
She helped her with her presentation. So, but I will say, with the 3 that she has, it is not without conversation, lots of conversation. And she got it really late compared to some of her peers. So very late, in fact. So,
but it sounds like maybe very developmentally on time. I mean,
absolutely.
If we can use you and your knowledge, doing what you're doing, and as how you're treating that and using the information as a parent, if we can use that, I mean, what were the ages that she got access to social media?
16, 15, 16. Yes. LinkedIn was different just because, she, she's trying to find a job or anything like that. But it's, as she went into her, she's a junior in high school. So as she entered her junior year, colleges are looking at LinkedIn now. The summer programs are looking at LinkedIn. So you have to have a LinkedIn program.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Yikes.
I mean, not to get into the college application process, but admission counselors, you meet with them, you visit the school. We visit 7 schools over the course of a year, and they're looking to see if you're worthy of their school, right?
Interesting. Yeah. LinkedIn, man, that is that used to be. I'm just trying to picture if someone showed me that when I was 16, how boring I would have thought that was. But
your online resume.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No.
I get nervous because as a culture obsessed with, achievement and efficiency, even that to me, I feel like is going to be tough. I have a 12-year-old and I don't know how to, if that's something, a direction he wants to go to be competitive for college, I'm going to have to also tell him, hey, you're worth and you're infinitely valuable regardless of what's on your LinkedIn for these companies to see whether you're worthy of their school. And to be honest, I've met a lot of people at a lot of these schools, and they're just people like me and you, and they're no more or less valuable than you are so they're really, I mean, I understand the kind of the structures we build to make ourselves feel good and part of the in crowd and smart and worthy. But what can we do to make sure our kids know that they're already a scientific miracle?
I know, right?
How do we do that?
That is tough because they are pummeled with so much when we send them off to school, and it's not just school, it's a social experiment, right? Because they are out talking with peers who have very different home lives than they do, and who are spoken to and cared for by families and parents and caregivers are very different from us. But and those same kids then say certain things that they hear at home to our children, and it can either put a little damper into their spirit, or it can boost them. And so I heard this on Michelle Obama's IMO podcast where, and we do this as well, but she and her brother Craig say that their mother and father always said, it doesn't matter what people say outside of this house, you can always come home and know that you're loved. And so we say that and do that with our own girls, regardless of what they say. It doesn't matter what people say outside of this house. Know that you know the truth, you know who you are, you know whose you are, and you are always loved here, and you will always be encouraged and anything that you need. This is where we were talking about this earlier, the toxic positivity that someone has said that I have comes into play, but I mean it, and it's so important. I think it's important to encourage the children so that they have, even if you don't think they're listening, they're listening, and they carry that in their heart, and they're able to carry that throughout the world wherever they are every day, and just making sure that they have that soft, safe bubble of, sayings from mom, dad, auntie, uncle, cousin, whomever.
Being an example, saying the things that are on your heart and mind, the things that help us, the things that help me remember that, if I don't have a good day at work, I'm still, a valuable and necessary and helpful part of my family. Right. And I think just making sure that we're diversifying our portfolio to make sure yes. we know, because again, we're all just inherently valuable. And I think AI, unfortunately, it seems like it can be really devaluing and invalidating. I was just talking to someone about, in the early 2000s when it was a big deal, everyone was so mad that you would call like a company, like the cell phone company or whatever, and it would make you talk to a robot that it never really worked right. I think it still doesn't, but
it doesn't.
No.
Representative.
Operate like the amount of syllables and hard vowels that go into when you're trying to talk to them. But the thing that I feel like we didn't really discuss is like, why did it piss us off? Why did it make us feel annoyed? And I don't think it's because we weren't talking to a human. I don't think it's because it wasn't efficient. I think it's because when someone, even if it's a company, says, my company's bottom line and efficiency is worth more than your time to validate you as another human by paying another human to do so and to help you, it's saying you're not really worth it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what pisses us off and scares us. So I'm, concerned that kind of thing. I mean, there was a Common Sense Media report about AI in the toy box, which
oh yes,
I want to talk to you about. I was just in Costco this holiday season and saw a wall of AI companions that, for whatever, I'm not going to get it. I'm not judging, but how do we think about that? Because for me, it tells my kid, no, you talk to this piece of crap instead.
Yeah, I don't want to read
not
to you.
Me. No, I don't want to read to you. I got stuff to do. And I'm not talking about, I grew up in a single parent household. My mom had 2 jobs, went to school at the same time. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
Because then, and even then, I only got to watch like one episode of He-Man and PBS. So Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I was. Oh, that He-Man was like
You
dessert.
took me back with that one.
Yeah, She-Ra,
She-Ra.
Man
Oh
at
my
Arms.
gosh, yeah, seriously.
Yeah, Skeletor. That
Skeletor, all
Goon.
that. I mean, we could only watch on Thursdays. We could start watching on Thursdays.
like TJIF or what? What were you
Yes,
watching?
yeah. So it was NBC, right? The Cosby
Yeah.
Show. Then Friday we could watch Empty Nest or whatever it was.
Empty Nest, great one. Wait, did you? But Cosby Show, did you get to keep going with the show right after that?
Yeah, Different World. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. I feel like real quick. Okay, this is you know what? This is our show. We're gonna do this. If someone doesn't want to hear about Different World, they can skip to the next episode because we need to talk. Who is your favorite on Different? I feel like that to me was like this is the coolest. That was the coolest thing I knew of. Like the coolest environment I knew of.
Yeah.
Like, no parents.
Mm-hmm.
You had people talking about kind of whatever they wanted. There was dating. There was Lisa Bonet, which
Lisa Bonet. Yeah,
I mean, shout out to my wife who I love.
But
disclaimer. If we never met, I might still be out there trying to talk. Trying to push Lenny Kravitz aside or whoever, whatever.
It's not Lenny Kravitz.
No.
Anymore.
Oh, okay. Well,
the Aquaman.
Jason Momoa?
I think so.
She went from Kravitz to Momoa?
Yeah.
I can't even. This is too heartbreaking. This is a whole different other. I can't even. No thanks. But let's wait. Where did we? Oh yeah, Sinbad. I wanted to talk about Sinbad. That's all I ever want to talk about is the comedian with one name. Oh, actually, David Adkins' real name.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But he would come in every once in a while and
to the grill. Wouldn't he always come when they were in the grill?
Yeah, and he would talk about like what food he wanted, or he'd have the huge hammer pants on and be like, "What up, Dwayne Wayne?" and just like what else?
Great. And drop knowledge and then like be gone. Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it was funny, but like good wisdom. So it was like, all right, he was a coach somehow. Yeah. Somehow he was the equivalent of a high school PE coach that knew all the kids in the college.
I thought he was the athletic director. No.
I mean, he probably was, but for me, I was like, how does he know isn't this a huge college? How does he always know
small school? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. I mean, but
was it what was the school? Was it
was
Spelman?
So it's filming again now. There's like going to be a new reboot at Spelman. Yeah, they're filming.
What?
I know.
This is the whole episode.
Run to your
AI?
television.
Who cares?
And then, so they're rebooting it. Debbie Allen has been seen, and they're filming at Spelman. But as a graduate of Hampton University, it was based on Hampton University because Whitley lived in Richmond, which was down the road. It's an hour and a half.
Forgot about Whitley.
So that's why it was Hampton University. Shout out to Hampton.
Okay. Well, last chance to just bring up your favorite character. I just brought it up so I could talk about it, obviously.
I love Whitley. I think she was like amazing. But there's Freddie. There's like so many. Marissa Tomei's character.
I forgot she was in it.
Yes.
That's
she
right.
was awesome. There were so many. Every character was my favorite.
All right. Well, we'll finish that off with always when I was like 12, I would try to sit backwards on a chair like Dwayne Wayne. And I couldn't pull off the flip up glasses.
Oh, no.
No, here's the thing. He did it where he would grab the chair.
And turn it around. Yes,
he would kind of like, and so I had to like really perfect that piece.
How long did that take you to do that?
By myself and with the dining room chairs in our, like those chairs were like cabaret, like Broadway stage chairs. Like those were like very light. So I couldn't really do it with the wicker chairs in my dining room.
Because it's like you had to.
It was heavy.
You didn't break a chair. Did you like trying to do that?
No, I was more likely to break my neck because I was trying to do it, like all in one move. But essentially, I figured it out. I kind of settled on this one sort of have the chair already kind of out and then kind of go sideways. So I'm adjusting to the chair because it's too heavy. So
and how much time did you spend?
A lot.
At this moment?
A lot. A lot. Andrea is already thinking how much of this she's going to have to cut
Oh
out.
no, I'm thinking how this should be the whole episode. I'm having a great time. I'm a few years younger. I'm right on the border of where those shows I was just like a little too young for. So I'm a few years younger than Marlon. And so, but I am having a great time hearing about the embarrassing way you spent your afternoons when you were home alone, Marlon.
These were my role models. All right. Well, I'm glad we did this. Let's go back to talking about how AI is not actually
That's right.
the end of the world, or it doesn't have to be. There is some hope there. We talked a little bit about the idea of having a toy for younger kids that is AI. Parents are pretty mixed on this, but where are you at with that? Because you said you have a 7-year-old too, right?
Yeah, we have a 7-year-old. So
would you bring one of these into the house?
No, absolutely not. In fact, my mom sent one.
Oof. Is she going to hear this? Does she know you threw it away?
I don't like clutter, so
got it. Okay. No excuses.
Yeah.
All right.
No excuses.
Just getting rid of it.
It's not helpful. And we found that some of those toys, if you look in our research, taught kids shared that they should open the window and jump out the window and do other things. You can find the entire assessment on our website. So if with that, knowing that.
Okay. Well, I think you
safe.
Just told us all, the very, probably the most important reason they're not safe. Well, if we're going to go there, then I think the Times, maybe it was last week, had a full-on article about wrongful deaths.
Yes.
And how the legal strategy is changing toward, when companies are acting irresponsibly or allowing their product to sort of slowly work with someone until they're dead. So, where are you all at with how that's developing?
We actually just were, our advocacy team were just in Albany, New York, with Maria Rain, the mother of Adam Rain, who committed suicide because a chatbot told him how to tie a noose. And exactly what to do. And so we are championing a number of bills in New York, in several states, California, New York, Illinois. There's so many where we talk about, the harm. And thank goodness for Maria Rain, who is sharing her story and Adam's story.
That's
broadly.
hard.
It
when
is
when you've had such a loss and now you have to go repeat that loss to, frankly, attorneys who are paid to make you not want to do it.
And it is brave of her, right? It is brave of her. There's also, and you all heard this at the summit, Sammy's Law.
Yeah.
As well.
Let's talk with Mr. Chapman.
Yes, that's right. And very similar story. And so, not knowing that the kids are having these conversations, right, with these chatbots, and that the chatbots are then giving them this direction. And so not only there's movement at the federal level, there's movement in Albany. We were there talking with members of the legislature there, talking with sharing the stories that's what's happening to make sure that this does not continue, because what we can't have is a generation of children, a generation of families with such loss that it continues without anyone stopping it, and we have to stop it.
How is this similar or different than how we as a society did with social media as it came out? Because now we sort of know a lot of time on social media, you're going to probably feel more depressed, more anxious, more, you have more body image issues. We probably kind of knew that for a long time, but how, I've heard people compare, guidelines like this to big tobacco, and then social media. But then where does AI come in, and how does that relate?
Yeah, Jim says that all the time. This is our big tobacco moment.
You
And
talk
it
about
is,
Jim
you
Steyer,
know, Jim
yep,
Steyer, the founder and CEO of Common Sense Media. He says it all the time. This is our big tobacco moment. And as someone who served on a gubernatorial board, appointed board, and when we lived in Virginia, it was as a result of the big tobacco settlements that happened, where, you know, all of the tobacco companies gave billions of dollars over to the various states that were affected. And out of that, for Virginia at least, came the Virginia Foundation for Healthy Youth, which our whole cause our mission was to make sure there was no smoking in young people and young adults, and also to curtail the obesity epidemic that was happening at the time. But the big tobacco moment that we're seeing here, and we weren't there in time for social media. We didn't understand it. We didn't see the effects that it was happening. And now we see everything, right?
Well, actually, an AI is probably helping us understand the effects of itself.
It is. It is. And, you know, we want to make sure that it doesn't happen again. We can stop it now. We can curtail it. We're not saying that we're anti-tech. We're not anti-tech. We just want the guardrails in place, the regulations in place, so we know our kids can be safe. Anyone can be safe online when it comes to the usage and accuracy. That part is important.
I mean, you can be pro technology, pro AI, and still have a foundation that is pro humanity, pro development for our children.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pro humanity. I like that. And I like to say kid partisan.
That's good. It's
kid
good.
partisan. It's kind of cheesy, but
I
like it because it is. There's no right side, wrong side. You just do what's best for the kids, for young people.
Yeah, and different people have different ideas about that, but I think as long as we can start there, we can have an objectively helpful or effective conversation. And actually look at what's helping and what's not.
Yeah, it's a defining moment, right? And we need to make sure that there's digital literacy in schools, that our parents and caregivers and families are armed with it, that they have it, that they understand it themselves, with the apps and algorithms and AI. And I'm sure, like, we need to use tech safely. Everyone needs to know how to use it safely. That part is crucial. Just as much it is to read and write, you know, how to use tech safely is
to
necessary.
navigate your current environment and how to flourish. I love the idea of bringing in human flourishing and what is it like the thing that I'm most concerned about is that we're going to forget our depth. We're going to forget our ability to experience life, the fullness of life. And we're going to turn into really a 2D version of ourselves as human beings, being ultra efficient and, you know, very shallow and maybe focusing more on pleasure than on purpose. And I think that would be a huge loss. I think that, you know, the hardest parts of life are what make the good parts better.
I love that. The hardest part. Yeah, you have to push through the calluses, right?
Yeah.
One of my friend's mom told me that. She's like,
that's a good, I think that's a better, that's a better way to say it. It's faster.
But I said that to my kids. They're like, ew, you know. Yeah.
I mean, it is gross. Calluses.
Yeah, it is. Push through the calluses. But like, it's like the movie WALL-E. It's so depressing.
I love that you're bringing this up. How
you know what
is
I
it
mean?
like the movie
I
WALL-E?
love movies, by the way, but
yeah, describe
you
to us.
can't tell.
We're loving this. We also love movies and storytelling. I often bring up to my 12-year-old the humans in the movie WALL-E. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to.
I am. That's it. Yeah, how they're gliding along on the little,
just like
those little things,
like a hoverboard wheelchair.
Hoverboard. Yes, that's what it's like. The little walker thing that you put your 1-year-old in.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know if they do that anymore. I'm an old.
I think so. Our neighbor has one for their little kid.
That's what it looks like. It's just like, this is.
And I feel like
depressing
also
movie.
there's like a huge like a big gulp or something like in the cup holder on all the gliding. Yeah, we don't want to turn into in this quest to remove pain from our lives. I think we might be also removing purpose, and I think that's going to leave us feeling more depressed. So I think if we can get the foundation right and remember, like Dr. Michael Rich, who was on the show a while ago, he said this one thing. He said, we lost a lot when friend became a verb. And I always think about that because how we define close relationships, friendships, intimate relationships, it's all changing. And I don't want people to forget that the best thing they have is each other.
It's so true. It is so true. And it's so hard when you go out to a restaurant and you see people on dates or with their families and no one's talking and they're all on their phone, the whole table, or on their device.
Yeah, like what's the point?
And you're like, you're not even talking to each other. And it's funny because our kids point that out, right? They point it out if they're just like, they're not even talking. Like, I wonder if that's going over there, or just
what's even holding you together? What's
honestly,
why even go out to eat? Just stay home.
Texting, like, I don't know, memes or something. It's just, and that's why I think it's important to start the conversation judgment free, for families to have judgment free, and these conversations about like what it looks like, because each age and stage is different, as we talked about earlier, but like, especially as the kids get older and they're hearing it at school and they may see it if there's kids. There are a lot of school districts have banned phones in the classroom, which is wonderful. But there's the playground, there's walking home from school, there's hangouts, there's, whatever. And the kids, you never know what other kids are doing on their phones and what the children are showing other children, right? So having the judgment-free, if you can, with your children as they age, and then also making sure that they know the difference. Have that talk about like safe and unsafe AI. I think that's important.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when we know that that it already exists. A superintelligence already exists. It's already kind of beyond our control and scope and understanding. It's just not that part's not quite out to the consumer base yet, but it's there. And so I think this conversation is going to continue to evolve. And one note on, the judgmental piece, when I find myself feeling judgmental, the first thing I do now that I'm older is be like, what is it about what they're doing that scares me about me? And why do I feel like I have to react like that? Because there's probably, it's probably
some
directly
trauma,
related.
Something.
Or just like, what I feel bad about myself and I think I'm like superior because my 3-year-old's not on a device right now. It's like that, you can't really put stock in that. And the other thing is when I see a family and that's happening, I think a few things. I think life's hard. I think I don't know how many different jobs that parent has to work to take their kid out to eat or to get food on the table already. And then I think I also think, how can we change a system so that is not the first thing we go to?
Yes.
And have it be, what are the alternatives? Like it's one thing to get to Chili's or Red Robin and actually, be able to pay for it and have delicious bottomless fries and all. But it's another thing to have days off, a living wage, friends, time for friends, third spaces, all the things that don't make money for people who are already rich.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I think we need more alternatives, to the screen. So I don't look at a family, and I think maybe I used to, but anymore, I look at them and think, how can we change the world so that you don't have to settle for that?
That's right. That's right. And there's so much to unpack there,
Yeah.
Marlon. I mean,
Well, we're going to do it in the next 2 minutes, right?
honestly, I mean, the libraries are your friend, right?
Oh, we talk about libraries constantly.
Shout out to libraries.
What state was your mom the state librarian for?
She was Illinois. I'm from Springfield, Illinois. So I can tell you about her job was to develop libraries in the rural parts of Illinois.
Incredible.
So, yeah.
Did you get to go to a lot of libraries and just smell the books?
A lot of libraries, a lot of library conferences.
It's the dream.
You know, and now
I'm quitting right now.
Yeah. And we would travel as a family for vacation, whereas the first place we'd go to was the library to see what the library looks like. And why do I do that now with our kids? I do that now with our kids. Like, oh, look at the library; it looks so amazing. You know, I'm doing that now.
Pals is for the people. I love it.
Seriously, I love libraries. A good book. But real talk, like if we can, and we have these resources, again, this parental guidance on our website, like make it clear that AI is not your friend. It's not a therapist. Putting in something for Claude for homework help or like information links is from reliable sources is very different than forming a relationship, right, with an AI chatbot.
So using it as a tool versus having a replacement intimate connection.
Yes, and making sure that the kids know they should turn to real humans for support, like that trusted adult. I think that's important.
I'm scared the adults are all going to be on their screen. What do we do? What does the kids say, or what can the adult do right now to make sure that they stay available for that moment and let their kid know that they're available to be turned to and to not be answering emails at dinner or whatever it is?
Yeah, no devices at dinner. We don't do that. Like it's challenging, right? But no devices at dinner. So we eat at the dinner table. No devices, no iPads, no phones, nothing. We don't watch television until Thursdays in our home. No games, no
I love all
devices.
those traditions you're keeping going.
Yeah, I know. But it's so funny because, other parents are more chill, apparently. But whatever.
It's all how you define it, I think.
Right. But Thursday starts, evening. And then also it's like setting a good example. And hey, I'm guilty of it. We all are, right? Where we might have it and our kid comes up to us and it's like, honestly, like, oh, my child wants my attention. I need to put my phone down. Work can wait. And then I need to give them my full attention. Just embodying those smart tech habits, modeling that in the living room, like travel with kids. They can't have devices in their bedrooms. They have to check it into our office here at night. And I've even started doing that. I put my phone in the office. I have to get up in the morning and get it. But it's just like I've been doing it for a few weeks now. And I have to tell you, I sleep better.
People say, what if there's an emergency or, do you get a landline or what do you?
We do have a landline.
Okay.
We have.
All right. That's key.
We have a landline. That is key.
Yeah.
And if, you can always fix it on your device so that your emergency contacts ring.
Right.
So past the focus timer, when you can do not disturb, your emergency contacts can still ring through. Yeah. But distinguishing the line between like what's real, right, and what's not, or what's an emergency or what's not, or
knowing that they have that there's another reason someone wants you to use that device, not just altruistically so that it helps you.
That's right.
There's a whole nother plan that maybe they don't even know yet, but they're going to do something with that data that is not necessarily going to include your consent.
Yeah. My 13-year-old doesn't even have a phone. And she won't get one until she needs to drive, to be honest with you.
She'll thank you. She'll thank you
will
at some point.
Will she? I don't know, but no, she will.
I think she will. Yeah.
Think so, yeah.
Yeah. She'll be a little bit more prepared for those in-person interactions.
Well, Marlon, when we had your son on, you asked him about what it felt like not having a phone when all the other kids do. And he seemed very like, I mean, he knew he was on mic, so maybe he was performing a little bit, I don't know. But he was well aware of how, like, it seemed like more aware he was of his environment. And
He's not a real performer, I'm telling you that right now. He's like his mom.
Really?
He's not going to fake it.
Okay.
Well, he's going to tell you what he's going to be direct. I love it.
Yeah, very, very direct.
That's a great skill to have.
They just he just found this group of kids at his school that all don't have phones. Like he's done this every year, and those are his friends from like 5th grade, from 6th grade. We like collect the kids and families because there's only like 2 or 3 in the class that don't have it. It's a lot of work. And sometimes a lot of money, depending on what you use instead. He has an Apple Watch that's locked down, all this stuff.
Same.
But so like the cool thing is though it was like sort of this. I felt like we got really fortunate just 2 weeks ago. The thing that he was up at the park with one of his friends playing basketball, and this group of kids rides up, not on e-bikes, but on regular bikes, and they're in middle school, and that's very uncommon for Southern California.
It is. Yeah, same for up here.
Yeah.
Everyone has an e-bike.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And so he was like, Dad, I this whole group of kids, that not one of them is an e-bike, and I don't think they have phones. They didn't pull out their phone. I meet one of the dads, and he's like, yeah, we all live like in the neighborhood next door, and we've decided as a group that our kids aren't going to have phones. They're not going to have e-bikes, like all the things that are like feel like pressure. And like, honestly, what is the upside to letting a kid go 30 miles an hour and possibly not wear a helmet? There's no upside. What's the upside to making sure your kid's developing a data profile that they can be sold a blender in the next 2 years? Who gives a shit? So I just feel like that was, if you do it, look for other families and kids and teach your kids to do the same, helping our kids understand and experience the fun, but also the validation and love that is paying full attention to another human in real time.
Yes. I love that. And it's the same as, not to get political or anything like that, but it's the same as asking.
We just had the first partner of California on, so I think
good.
So she was not shy, of course. So
okay, great.
Yeah.
So it's the same as asking if they have a weapon in the house before your kid goes over. I ask that.
That's good. Yeah.
I ask that.
Where is it? Is it locked
Where
up?
is it? Is it biometric? Is it in a closet? Is it in a shoebox? Like who has access to it? No, honestly, because people still keep them in a shoebox in the top of the closet, right? Or instead of having a biometric case or a locked case. I ask that. And it's so interesting because our children know that. Like not so much the 7-year-old, but like the older two.
Are you gonna ask the question, Mom?
She asked it. Well, our middle daughter, 13-year-old, she was like, "Oh, I asked her already, Mom." I'm like, "That's not for you. That's not your responsibility." I'm proud of you for asking and knowing.
She's trying to get ahead of it. She's trying to get ahead of it. Yeah.
She really wanted to like go to this hangout, but I was just like, "That's my responsibility." But I appreciate you doing that. But it's the same thing, and it's true. It's when any of my girls have a play date for the 7-year-old, a hangout for the older, it is, are they talking or they're watching a movie or they're not on devices, but also 13-year-old just has an Apple Watch like your son, right? And it's locked down. So only a few people have her number.
Same.
She's not on social to her detriment. She's like, oh,
yeah.
But that's how it's going to be. But they're happy girls. They are well socialized in terms of, and they know that their worth is not dependent on their profile on Instagram or Snap or like how many friends or followers they have, right? Their worth is not that. And so I think that's something it's important for parents to share and explain to their kids as well, that it's not about the likes. It's not about the number of followers you have or what photos. It's all a ruse anyway.
Yeah,
and
it's just to get you to do something that they want you to do. Yeah,
it's people showing the best parts of their life.
Totally.
Not the crummy parts, not the push through the calluses part. And I think if we can explain that to our kids in earnest, have these real conversations with them. It's okay to have a crummy day. You don't have to let the world know about it, but you know what I mean? Just to have these earnest conversations, I think we'd be better for it, just all over.
Well, yeah, and to know that it's even a possibility, like you said, and that's they can turn to another human in their home, and you're open to that, and you have your device put down long enough to, stop ignoring death and start interacting in the real time. So that sounded a little judgy, but I guess it was.
Listen, that's why I watch Real Housewives to
Well, I feel like we could talk a lot longer, and I've really enjoyed this time, Edda, that you've been real and been a objectively you know the research, but you're also being a person walking through it, just like a lot of everyone else is. And I think people are going to get a lot out of that. If people do want to keep up with you, I know you did put out an article. Was it on Common Sense Media on the 5th about the whole institute?
Yes, they can check out commonsensemedia.org and check out our institute page. It has all chock full of all of our assessments, all of our research that we've done to date. And they can also check out the rest of the website to find our parental guidance. And we call them PUGs, Parent Ultimate Guides.
Great.
Around everything. You can get a contract for your child for if you're providing them their first device.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is what we did for our 16-year-old. And so there's ages and stages. There's curriculum. My favorite are the carpool conversations that we just reimagined our digital literacy and well-being curriculum last year. And we have new high school curriculum coming out in the fall. And my favorite are the carpool conversations. And you can just Google it, Common Sense Media Carpool Conversations. And it's like a little podcast with prompts that you can listen to on the car. It's the best place to talk to your kids, right?
Yeah.
And they can't go anywhere.
I love it.
They have little prompts, and it's so fun. And my colleague, Chrissy Elgersma, is the creative mind behind it. And it's her and her daughter. And it's little snippets, 2-3 minutes to listen to, but then it just gets you talking. I've tried it out on my kids as well, and they're really good conversation starters.
I don't think people realize, if they haven't poked around on your website, how much is there. That it's not just reviews of movies and TV. I mean, it's worth just kind of like hanging out on the site and clicking around and seeing what you have, because there's just so much.
As a parent in the age of AI and the information age, I don't think anyone should not go to Common Sense Media to get just the actual research. If you're wondering how AI is affecting this next generation or even our generation, there's information there about how does it make you smarter. Spoiler: it does not. But yeah, I think. Just go there and take a look. I really don't know. It just makes you hopeful too, because all that really, mostly in the headlines, what sells is the apocalyptic version of AI. And if you want to feel hopeful, and like there are people like Edda that are communicating out and doing and finding ways to conduct the research that isn't necessarily great for the bottom line right away, but is great for humanity. Then to keep our kids safe, then go there, check it out. Anywhere else that they should stay connected with you, Edda?
Yes, absolutely. Our YouTube page, we have chock full of, we have a conversation with Common Sense Media episodes where you hear from our experts and other folks who are in the digital safety, child well-being space. We have our carpool conversations there. We have more curriculum there. We have tons of things, goodies that are just ready and available to all families and educators as well to help them along the way. And it's just really important, and you can take your time and peruse it, but really it's a great opportunity to just dive in deep and to get what you need from it when you can.
Edda, thank you so much for being here and for the work that you're doing, helping us to feel hopeful and contributing to humanity and kind of helping us balance our lives with all this new technology, information, media. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the time, the support, and the chat. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. We can talk about movies anytime.
We'll do it again for sure. It'll be a bonus episode. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
Get your list ready because we're going to really go through it.
Marvel's next, right?
Oh, we got to
go through.
In-world, in-universe, canon.
Yes.
I want to talk
all of that.
All of it. Okay.
Thank you so
soon.
much.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope it helped. Stay connected with us at This Helps Podcast and thishelpspodcast.com. We actually do update that website. It's pretty good. You can also review other people's reviews and then think about what you want to say about our show because it helps people find the show.